Now, when I was doing the work for the 18 years, I knew a couple of things. One, all the talk at the time was, you create with your thoughts. I said, I know that's not it. You create with your feelings. I used to say to people, if someone walks around the house, you know, the sheriff's at the door, they don't have money for the rent, and they're walking around in their apartment, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. And every time they say they're rich, they get more scared and fearful that they're going to be, thrown out. Which controls? The feeling of fear or the saying, I'm rich? See? Now, when the two are aligned, yeah, that's a different story. But it's the feeling that has the power. There's no power in thought. It's all in the feeling. And the second part is, we create with our feelings. We don't create with our thoughts. When you are feeling wonderful, when you're feeling joyful, you create events and circumstances that are joyful. And the opposite is also true. When you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling fearful, when you're feeling angry, you will create exactly those events that match how you're feeling. And I listened to Howard this morning, and he talked to that about the intelligence of the heart is faster and quicker than the mind, see? The feeling has already created before the mind has a chance to even kick in, although it doesn't seem that way. So, how do you pull all of this together? It's, at this point, very simple. The first thing is to just be clear on the basics, which you are now. The second is, set your intention. What is it you really want? Okay? Unless you have that intention in place, nothing is going to happen. Now, the simplest way to go is what you love to do, what is natural to you. As you move through this and you go into the stretch, you will bring up all the reasons why not to go forward. All the fears, all the doubts, all the sense maybe of failure and embarrassment and so on. Not a big deal, okay? Because at this point, so many people have visited that and opened that energy up. It's not a big deal anymore. Used to be a very big deal. Not such a big deal anymore. And if you set the intention to stay in that energy and call it what it really is, it's love. And the feeling quality is joyfulness. See, we can't get away from who and what we really are. We can only disguise it and make believe it's not that. And that's where we used our creative brilliance. But that creative brilliance is available to us as we move into the phase 2 process. Once you set the intention and make the commitment, and it has to be at least as strong as the commitment you made to make phase 1 work. And don't underestimate that one. It's powerful, and you got patterns around it. But when you set the intention to move beyond it, you will rally yourself, and that same power and ingenuity and brilliance will now start working to move you beyond that. But it's your intention. And, they call it heart math. I agree with both parts, and particularly the math. And the math is so incredibly simple. I said, you want to understand universal math? You have to know only two numbers, 0 and 100. Until your intention reaches 100%, it's zero. There's nothing in between. Intention at 75%, 82, 99.9 is still Zippo. Until it reaches 100%, you stay where you are. The commitment already in place. Get clear. That other commitment remains in place. It's not like you're in neutral or something. You're committed to have phase one be operating in your life. And without the intention to move beyond that, you will stay there because that's your intention. But having set the first intention in commitment, you're at the place of power. It's your choice to move beyond it. The other part of this is the concept of appreciation, and it's been alluded to by a number of the speakers. One of the most powerful feelings you can get into. Appreciation is like love. It's like a twin. It's a sister, it's a brother. It's right there with it. When you're feeling love or appreciation, you're essentially in the same energy. And your willingness to feel appreciation for yourself as the creative power in your life. You can appreciate your creations only for the purpose of reminding you that you are the creator of them. And the other part of it is, and this is where the tricky part comes in, the only way that phase one worked was that we created what I call superglue, judgment. When you judge anything, you lock the energy in place and it just repeats itself over and over again. Moving into phase two requires a release of the judgment, appreciating fully the brilliance of creating phase one, creating judgment, creating hate, violence, all that stuff. When it comes up, appreciate your creative power in having created the belief that it's real and that it runs your life. And so the concept of appreciation, like love, is there to be used all the time. It isn't better to be in phase two than phase one. It isn't better to be in joyfulness than to be in anger. They're both brilliant creations. And so this is the other piece that you want to be careful about. See, in bringing peace to the world, those who want to experience peace, it's great. The guys that are fighting in Iraq are not interested in peace right now. They're not. They're enjoying fighting in Iraq. The suicide bombers are enjoying being suicide bombers. Is it real? No. It's in their imagination and ours. But it only makes sense to look at it in yours. See,